Welcome to this episode of your Spiritual Business Coach podcast. I am your host Ashu. I am the coach for light leaders or spiritual baddies ready to own their fierce self-expression and build audiences that trust you with their eyes closed. We do this by integrating feline energy, which helps you birth match made in heaven offers or offers that slap and whisker looking good marketing. Now, in this episode, we are going to talk about feline energy, which I am super excited about because this is season 4. Now, before I start, if you do not know what feline energy is, I would want you to do your homework and go back and listen to season 3. Season 3 was all about introducing you to feline energy, the pillars of it, and I have a full episode on what feline energy means. But in this episode, we are actually going to talk about how the fuck do you implement feline energy in your business, because I have been on a lot of podcast episodes recently. I have talked about feline energy to so many people. I've been spreading the message with so many people. And the one compliment I've received across all of those podcasts is that I bring tangibility to those intangible spiritual concepts that people are struggling with. They have these beautiful, wonderful ideas. They see these things, these shapes, these colors and everything, but they just don't know what to do with them. They don't know what to do with these concepts, and they just keep escaping the 3D reality. And that's why I like to call myself the bridge between the 5D and the 3D. I am your 2D to 3D translator, and that's why when my clients work with me in my coaching containers, I help them make sense of everything that they are seeing in the channeling sessions and how to actually put it to use. What is the guidance that their guides are giving them, but they're not able to grasp because there are so many limiting beliefs around business. There's so many limiting beliefs and icky feelings around business. So that is exactly what I do inside my coaching containers. Now, this is going to be the main part where we actually tap into how do you even activate your feline energy in business. But before that, I also want to let you know that here is what you can expect in season 4. In season 4, you can expect more crisp episodes and more implementable episodes. So you will see much more real-time me than just these random long episodes. There will be some long episodes though, and those episodes are going to be guest episodes with my clients so that you get a peek inside my world. I'm also planning to get more people on, and we're going to do live coaching sessions on the podcast. So I'm super excited about that. That's what you can expect. But every single episode is going to be crisp, short, and implementable, which you rarely get the combo. So let's get into this. How do you activate your feline energy and actually make it implementable in business? Before you do that, you need to know where you are not in your feline energy. I hope you don't know what feline energy is now, but think of a feline right now. Let's do this right now. I want you to think of a feline. I will also give you examples, but I want you to take your own. Bring any feline to your mind. Once you've got that, I'm going to take a cat because that's the simplest example for a lot of people here. I want you to think of the traits that you associate with that feline. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Go ahead. What are some traits? What do you think of that feline? What comes to your mind when you first think of that feline? So I'm going to go with a cat. And let's say a cat is very smooth, very fierce with boundaries, and has a mind of its own. Okay, this is a couple I'm going to go with. Once you've got those traits out, you don't have to remember all of them. If you're doing it in a notepad or a journal, something, of course, beautiful, love you. And you'll be able to make much more sense of it. But look at those traits. If you can even remember one, think where you're not embodying those qualities. Think where you're not putting in those things in your business, in your life, into proper implementation. I'm going to give you some examples, and I know your mind is already rolling, so feel free to pause me. But if you need some inspiration on how this actually works, let me give you some examples. First, a cat is very smooth. What areas of your life feel like they're not very smooth? What areas of your life feel like they're not smooth sailing? It's like a rocky road. Those are the areas where you're not embodying your feline energy. Second, a cat is very fierce with boundaries. Where have you not been setting strong boundaries with your clients? Where have you not been setting strong boundaries with your partner, with your friends, whosoever it might be, with your family? Where are you not doing that? Because that's where you're not embodying that fierce feline energy and has a mind of its own. So, how are you actually honoring your own mind, own opinions, own preferences? And where are you giving in to what everyone else is saying and listening to everything that everyone else has to say about your business, your life, your career decisions, and you are implementing what other people are saying instead of feline energy? Once you have those areas, ask yourself, how would this feline, whosoever you've picked, in my case cat, how would a cat behave in this situation? If a cat was a human, a human version of a cat or a human version of the feline you've chosen, how would she behave? How would he behave? How would they behave? Once you brainstorm on this in itself is a fucking coaching session. If you have always wanted to get coached by me, you want to listen to this episode and actually implement everything that I'm saying, and you already have a lot of your answers solved, I'm going to say, a lot of the things already solved. These are such potent questions that I would only ask my private clients. I would only get them and sit with them and make a roadmap. After this, I sit with them, look at their responses, and help them make a roadmap of this is how we need to move forward. This is where you're leaking your energy and you're not stepping into your ferocious feline. And then I would go on and do some DNA code activation for the feline energy for them. Maybe I'll do some symbol activations for them. And that's how we get into true essence when you start working with me in my private coaching containers. And if you're thinking of that, beautiful time, drop me a message on Instagram, and I would love to also hear your responses. Even if you're not interested in working with me right now in a private coaching container setting, that's cool. Text me on Instagram, tell me what feline did you think of and what were your realizations from this episode, and I am going to take your leave. So thank you for tuning into your Spiritual Business Coach podcast and for listening to this episode. Because you listened all the way to the end, it means that you've received some potent codes from this episode. So I really honor that. And now that you've listened to this episode, you know what it is like to work with me. If you felt a strong nudge that, yes, I want to work with Ashu, I want to work with a coach who holds this level of space for me, then drop me a message on Instagram. And if you're feeling a little too generous, I would love for you to drop me a review or rating on whatsoever platform you're listening to this on. If you feel the nudge to tell me about the episode, like I said before, or inquire about anything, maybe give me a podcast suggestion, drop me a message on Instagram at Listening Stories Untold. The link will be in the show notes, and I will see you in the next episode.